Okay, I just wanted to make this video just to kind of group and sum up all of the kind of ease of access things we've been adding into our programs, or you should have been adding into your programs. So you don't have to make this, but just a reference video of what you should be familiar with all in one place. So I've just got this simple program. You enter a name, you enter a phone name, phone number, you pick a job, and so I don't know, Bob. Phone number doesn't really matter. You pick a job, press enter, and it says, okay, you are Bob and you are an athlete. So I just want to sum up some things that we're doing here. So the first thing we're doing is the text box. We learned that, hey, if you tab into the text box, it's nice if you don't have to, if everything's already selected for you and you don't have to delete everything. So to do that, we add a enter event, and you can say txb name dot select all, and you're gonna need your little brackets there. So that's one thing we talked about. What else did we talk about? We also talked about a text change event. So for this text box, if I change the text, whatever code I put in here will happen. So for example, if I run my program, I put Bob, put some numbers there, teacher, enter. You are Bob and you are a teacher. So I'm going to tab to my text box. I'm going to tab. So it selects it all, which is nice. And then if I start typing, I've changed the text. So it's a good idea that I maybe turn this label off. So that's what the text change event does. Anytime you change any text in there, you can put code for something to happen. So for example, I could put label message.visible equals false. So what does that do for me? So I put Bob, phone number, teacher, enter, tab, tab, tab. I tab to my text box, and then watch, as soon as I change the text, boom, it's gone. So there's no funny business. No funny business there. Accept and cancel buttons. So accept and cancel buttons, you can designate any button on your program to be an accept button. You can designate any button on your program to be a cancel button. So what does that mean? Well, an accept button means you can just press the enter button on your keyboard to activate the button. And a cancel button means you can just press escape on your keyboard to activate that button. It's kind of like a hotkey. So, for example, this enter button, I want it to be my accept button. So instead of clicking on this button, I can just press enter on my keyboard. So click on your form, the outside form, and you have a property here for where is it? Accept button. Accept button. So by default, it's none. So I can say, you know what? I want my enter button to be my accept button. So that means when I press enter on my keyboard, this button gets activated. So let's watch that. Bob, do. And then I'm not going to click the enter button. I'm just going to press enter on my keyboard. Boom. Good to go. And the exit button, the cancel button, is when I press escape on my keyboard. So clicking on my form, I can choose the cancel button to be whatever button I want. I'm going to choose the exit button. So instead of clicking the exit button, I can just press escape on my keyboard. And the exit button, if you want to exit your program, all you have to do is do application.exit. So here we go. Bob, phone number, teacher, enter. Lots of things in motion now. So I'm tabbing, highlights Bob. I'm changing the text. There's an event, erases changes the visibility of my message. I can press the enter button on my keyboard instead of clicking. So I can press enter for my accept button, and I can press escape for my exit button, my cancel button. I think that's pretty much it. And there's one new thing I want to talk to you today about, and it's called the tab order. So when I was pressing tab, look, tab, the tab goes kind of all over the place. It starts at that text box, it goes to this text box, then it goes to this first radio button for whatever reason, and then it goes back up to the enter button, and then it goes back to the exit program button. There's a lot of things my tab is going to. So what I can do is in your design window, I only want to tab in between these two text boxes. So if you click on this text box, you have a property. All of these controls have a property. It's called a tab index. So the very first thing you want to tab to in your program, set the tab index to be 0. Because all things in computer science, when we are making lists, every list, everything, the 0 is the first thing. Everything always starts with 0. And then the next thing I want to be able to tab to is this text box. So I'm going to make that tab index 1. Now for everything I don't want to tab to, like all this extra junk, if you don't want to tab to a control, click on it and change your tab stop property to be true. Oh, sorry, change it to be false. If it's set to false, that means you can't tab to it. So these radio buttons, I don't want to tab to them. So I'm going to tab stop property to be false. Tab stop false. Tab stop false. This button, tab stop false. So now when I run my program and I press my tab key, look, I'm only tabbing between the two things I selected. So type a name, type a phone number, enter, tab. Type a name, type a phone number. Oh, I didn't put the select all event for that one. Enter, tab. Look at how much quicker my program is to use with all these options.